But guess what? You're coming into this community with a lot of bad habits of how you respond to what other people say. It hurts you. It makes you angry. It saddens you and you cry. It depresses you. It makes you afraid and anxious. What people say, the way you respond to that, the way you think about life has to begin to change, and it's a slow process. And so what residential programs do is they put together a system of rules and structure for you to live by so that you can begin living in a new way. You're obeying this verse in 1 Timothy 4:7, have nothing to do with irreverent, silly myths. We talked about that, but rather train yourself for godliness. And you're doing that, gymnazo, in the same way that you would train yourself to run a marathon or to compete in an Olympic sport. One of the best programs I know of, you know some of my friends, I have them on this podcast from time to time. They run great programs where they're helping men and women to think differently about how they normally would respond, how they might respond in the flesh. And you're building in new habits, new rules to follow, if you will, so that you can build a life that's foundationally on Christ. And you do all of this for the glory of God. Well, what happens in the program when you violate a rule, when you harm yourself, self-harm? A staff person then has to decide, okay, John Doe or Jane Doe, was it willful? So you have to address it as a counseling issue of the heart. You have to address the heart. What is going on in your heart? Why did you miss this rule? Why did you violate this? And you want to counsel that and help that. And programs that I know deal with that in a very kind and gracious way. But when it's willful and it's serious and they've done it repetitively, at some point you have to look at, do we need to dismiss? There may be 10 or 12 men in the program. Some programs may have 20 men. And you have to keep it as a safe environment. So you can pray for the people in these residential programs, the staff members especially, because they're having to make really life and death decisions to try to shape people's lives by addressing heart issues and pointing out what the person's struggling with so that they know God expects better for them because they can obey God and enjoy the blessing of God. His rules, His ways are better.